Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Fantasticapz. This episode is going to be very jam-packed due to the fact that I've been away for a few weeks and haven't had the time to review these shows in depth. So if you don't pick up on anything or get really confused, I'll post links in the description below to actual reviews and recaps of these shows that I've been talking about. Let's get to it. First show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, Episode 2, 084. The team investigates an object of unknown origin and potential danger found in Peru. Coulson is reunited with an old partner from years past who later on turns on him. Fitzsimmons, Skye, Ward, and May develop a plan that results in blowing a hole in their plane known as the bus. End of the episode, Skye gets a text from the Rising Tide saying, "Rising Tide going dark, what is your status?" Skye responds, "I'm in." A few points of interest. When Skye is unloading her van and getting ready to board the bus to go on her crazy adventure with S.H.I.E.L.D., the camera zooms in on a hula skirt dancer. This has some potential importance that we'll probably see or will be explained later on. While S.H.I.E.L.D. is retrieving the 084, they are attacked by Peruvian rebels. Ward takes care of them by pulling a staff out of his pocket, clicking it, and a blue capsule shoots into the air and then releases the blue shockwaves. This is identical to the staff that Simon Tam uses in Serenity when he brings River out of the academy. Episode 3, Assets. Canadian physicist Franklin Hall is taken hostage to help Ian Quinn develop a gigantic machine that makes gravity go all berserk. Ward becomes Skye's supervising officer and trains her to become a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. He tells her his defining moment as an agent, and with a little reluctancy, Skye reveals part of her past to Ward. Episode 4, I Spy. A girl whom Coulson has trained in the past is committing crimes. She is discovered to be controlled by a third party giving her orders. Culprit is not found at the end of the episode. Episode 5, Girl in the Flower Dress. A man with pyrotechnic abilities is taken by the people behind Project Centipede. They give him a serum to increase his power for a short time and stabilize the extremists within his system. Skye is caught working with a member of the Rising Tide. She is put on the hot seat with Coulson and divulges that she is with S.H.I.E.L.D. to find out what happened to her parents. He comments, "You may not like what you find." Next show, Fangasm. Unfortunately, the season is over now, but all the shows are online, so if you have a computer with Flash Player, you can go back and watch them if you happen to miss any. Episode 2, Date with a Supermodel. Regina asks the interns to make promo videos for Stan Lee's Kamikaze. Danny, Molly, Kristen, Paul, and Mike make hilarious, elaborate, and very clever videos. Sal and Andrew create amateur, flipbook-esque videos that don't impress Regina at all. Adrienne Curry, winner of America's Next Top Model, later joins the interns for their Fortress of Fandom podcast at Regina's request. Afterwards, she helps Paul and Sal with their dating skills at a local bar. During the episode, Sal draws Danny an awesome picture, but denies himself as the artist when asked about it. In the end, he asks her out on a first date, and she says yes. Episode 3, Take Me to Your Leader. The interns have an opportunity to pitch comic ideas to Stan Lee. All are very psyched for this and come up with amazing ideas. Andrew does a stand-up comedy routine at the Ha Ha Club and is extremely hilarious. Sal and Danny go on their first date, finally having a chance to talk without being supervised by the rest of the interns. It goes well, and Sal mentions going for date 2 in the future. Episode 4, Zombie Fanpocalypse. Molly and Kristen approach Regina and ask for her permission for them to go to E3, and they are granted this with the condition that they hand out some flyers for Kamikaze. At the convention, they get discouraged when people don't seem interested and decide to hide a stack of flyers on a nearby table, hoping that Regina won't find out. Sal, Danny, Andrew, Mike, and Paul get to work on a giant tentacle for the octopus that's going to be at the Kamikaze convention. Sal is super excited about this, saying that it's his life dream to be able to make monsters. Andrew's girlfriend Lisa goes to the apartment that night to visit them. The interns love her, and the fact that she has the exact same laugh as Andrew is both adorable and hysterical. Sal writes Danny a poem, but she only sees it as a friendly type of thing. The crew gets zombified by a professional makeup crew and goes to a draw and drink at one of the bars in town. Molly and Mike get into it a little bit while drinking, and he somehow thinks it's a good idea to try to juggle 3 girls all at the same location in one night. Bottom line, don't do that. Episode 5, A LARP in the Park. Regina goes to the apartment to check in on the interns and digs into Molly and Kristen a little bit for failing to hand out all of the Kamikaze flyers. She eases the conversation by saying that they can learn from this, but Mike speaks up after Molly starts crying, putting his foot in his mouth yet again. After that uncomfortable conversation, Regina informs them that there is an opportunity for them to be hired permanently as Kamikaze staff. She splits them up into 2 separate tasks. 1, planning the launch party for Kamikaze, and 2, cleaning out an outrageously messy storage unit looking for a surfboard. Kristen, Mike, and Molly take the planning while Sal, Andrew, Paul, and Danny go to the storage unit. After cleaning, Regina's friend Cassandra, who plays Elvira, stops by the storage unit and takes the 4 interns out to dinner. Paul is the one of this time, unintentionally bashing Cassandra for her entire career. Sal and Danny are hanging out that night, and he weirdly makes a move to kiss her. Being awkward as a 12-year-old, Danny has to step Sal through the process. Eventually he does this, and she leaves him to think on her reaction. The next day, Molly proposes that the interns do some LARPing as it's one of their last days as interns. After the interns get all dressed up and ready for battle, they go off to a nearby park to bash away at each other. Mike takes this a bit too seriously. They finish the episode by visiting Batman's Batcave from the 1960s TV show. Sal gives a big cheese-coated speech about their experiences with the internship. Episode 6, Final Fandom. Due to an unknown schedule, or just simply because I'm Canadian, I was unable to watch the finale. Tune in to Geek Out Hangout on Saturday on YouTube around 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where we will be discussing our favorite parts of the last 2 episodes. Finally, we get to Once Upon a Time. Episode 3, Quite a Common Fairy. Emma, David, Mary Margaret, Regina, and Hook come across Tinkerbell on their quest to rescue Henry from Peter Pan. A dark past is revealed between Regina and the fairy, which makes things a little bit icy in the group. Not that they weren't already. Neil concocts a plan to get to Neverland with the help of Robin Hood. He agrees to let Neil use his son as bait to summon Pan's shadow. When it arrives, they attack it, and it flies away back to Neverland. Neil jumps out the window and grabs onto it so it'll take him to Neverland, where he can find Emma and Henry. Last thing in the episode, Mulan joins Robin Hood and his band of merry men. Episode 4, Nasty Habits. Gold is reunited with his son Neil, but thanks to one of the Lost Boys revealing the prophecy that says that Henry is Gold's undoing, and that Gold plans to kill his grandson, Neil abandons him in the forest to go save Henry solo. Emma, Regina, David, Hook, and Mary Margaret are closing in on Pan's hideout. They find the cave that Neil lived in during his time in Neverland, and discover a coconut that doubles as a star map when you put a candle inside it. Unfortunately, Neil is the only one who can read it, so they'll have to track him down. Henry is holding up well against Pan's head games, but coming near the end of the episode, it's inferred that Henry is becoming more and more like a lost boy. This concludes my very quick and very rushed recap episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, the season of Fangasm, and Once Upon a Time. I will post links in the info below to places online where you can watch these shows and actually get an in-depth look at what actually happened. Punch the like button if you got something out of this episode, and comment below telling me what some of your favorite parts are in the shows that I've been recapping. That's all I have to say for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep on keeping on.